Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here at the Sonoma Avenue Church of Christ for our Sunday morning lead-in. May has almost come to a close, and I thought it might be a good idea to take stock of where we are and how things are changing as we roll into June. Now, I know that in several parts of the country, places are reopening at different speeds. Here in the state of California, that's also true. Several counties are allowing churches, restaurants, barbershops, and hair salons to reopen. Well, here in Sonoma County, we are not quite at that point. Because of a recent spike in cases, our county health officer is being more cautious with our opening, so we have to wait. My wife Nisha has taken to reading different articles about openings and closings, and when she reads the article, she can't help but go down to the bottom where all of the comments are, reciting them with a mixture of amusement and confusion. For example, just yesterday, the county health official announced that we were not ready to move into phase 3. We're staying in phase 2 until further notice. Now, I'm sure you can imagine what the comments were like after that article. Why are you taking away our freedoms? If other people can go outside, why can't we? You can't do this to us. Well, she then immediately went to another article that said some Catholic churches in Sonoma County are going to hold Mass on Sunday against the county's recommendation. The diocese said it would not stop churches who feel that they can provide a safe environment, even though it was still recommending that these churches not meet. Now, the comments that followed that particular article were completely opposite of the ones that came after the health department article. Don't you care about exposing people who are part of your faith community to this disease? Why are you willing to take such a risk with other people's lives? You're being reckless. Look, there is very little that I can think of that is more 2020 than those two exchanges. As I lay in bed last night, unable to sleep, my brain worrying from all the information, opinions, and decisions that have to be made, a thought occurred to me, something I had never really thought of before. And it's leading me to ask you this question. When you think of the coronavirus, what face do you see? Here's why I think that's an important question. Many of us are coming at this pandemic from different angles, and not all of us have been affected in the same way. We have had different experiences, and those experiences have colored the way that we view everything that's happening. So this question, what face do you see, becomes an important one. Maybe, for example, you see the face of a friend or a family member who has gotten sick, is in the hospital, or possibly has even passed away because of the disease. I can only imagine the cocktail of feelings you must be experiencing if this is the face that you see. You must be feeling sorrow over the loss, overwhelming concern and worry for your friend or your family member and their friends and their family members and everyone that's affected. Anger over other people's seeming lack of concern. Hurt that all of this is happening and the cost is so high. And bewilderment over how this could even happen in the first place. Perhaps you see a different face. Perhaps you see the face of someone who has lost their job or their career. Maybe they're even close to losing their home and the life that they have built. You also are experiencing strong feelings if this is the face that you see. Anger at those who are making decisions. Hurt for people you care about, whose lives are being turned upside down. Suspicion maybe as to why these different things are happening, and uncertainty over whether the cost of human life is equal to the cost of others' way of life. I personally see the faces of my mom and dad. My parents are both in their 80s and therefore high risk. My mom was moved into a home that she had just moved into right before lockdown, and she was basically kept in her room for weeks without being able to see anyone and not knowing anyone there. My dad has some health concerns that make COVID a really dangerous disease for him. He can't go see his wife and partner of 60 plus years. No one can really go see him for fear of exposing him. they feel so alone, and I feel impotent to do anything to help them. A church member even recently said here that he and his wife would rather be able to go to church and risk getting sick and dying than spend another week at home under the weight of the loneliness that they feel. I want things to change for them. I want them to be able to be around those that they love and count on for friendship and support, but I fear for them being exposed to something that very realistically could kill them. The point of this exercise is that all of us are hurt, angry, confused, afraid, or suffering in some way, even if we don't all agree on what is happening, why it's happening. All of us are being touched by a different finger of this disease. None of us wants to be hurt or to see someone else hurt by the pandemic, and yet people are being hurt. And the armor of invincibility that we have worn around ourselves now has some pretty serious dents and scratches. I was once asked, after going through a really difficult period in my life, what I thought the purpose of suffering is for a Christian. And my answer, which I only could have reached through my experience, was that suffering takes the shine off of this world. It reminds us that all is not well and great in this place. And furthermore, it creates in us a desire to be somewhere that can transcend the suffering that we see and experience here in this place. No matter what face you see, we live in a fallen world that is in need of some good news. And no matter what you think should be happening here, as someone who belongs to Jesus Christ, your citizenship is not in this place. It's not in this county. It's not in this state. It is not in this country. We need to not forget that at this time of great uncertainty, when all seems so scary, confusing, and hurtful, when there is so much loss, that we have something to offer a world which cannot keep up with all that it promises. Now, more than ever, the shine is gone, the rust is showing, and the thieves are at the door. We have something to say, but the news that people need to hear is not that we were right and they were wrong. It is not that they have ignored God and this is why this is happening. They also don't need to hear that Jesus makes everything better and solves all of our earthly problems, because we know that's not true. What people need to hear is the good news, and the good news says that life in this place is difficult. It says that things are hard. It says that we make lots of mistakes, and others will make lots of mistakes. But God, through his great love and the sacrifice of his son Jesus, takes what is difficult and hard. He takes what hurts and he does something amazing. He redeems, he restores, and he makes new. And no matter what face we see, no matter what we are experiencing, the good news of Jesus Christ leads us to a place of praise, for God overcomes. The good news of Jesus Christ takes us to a place of wonder, for God helps us to find hope and peace in the middle of chaos. The good news of Jesus Christ takes us to a place of humility, for why should God even care about what happens to us? The good news of Jesus Christ takes us to a place of joy, because we know that this world, with all of its hurt, will not win. It has already been defeated. Oh, church, we have so much to say. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. May we be a people of unity, people of hope, people of love, people that love all of the faces. And may our eyes be pulled upward, and in so doing, may we find all that we need in the God who loves us. I hope to see you on Sunday.